Without further ado, I think we should watch The Cult of Elon Musk from friend of the show, Jay Aubrey.
Are you sincerely trying to save the world?
Well, I'm trying to do good things, yeah. I mean, saving the world is not I mean...
But you're trying to do good things and you're a billionaire. That seems a little bit like either superhero or supervillain. You have to choose one.
I gotta pee, I'll be back.
I like tequila, damn this shit tasty. Yeah, you know I made about $1 million off a pink beanie.
I gotta pee, I'll be back.
I feel like my life is a movie, damn it's too easy. Can't catch me, I'm jumping the borders, hit the embassy. It's bag or die. 7 gold chains on me, call me Slick Rick. Just made an album, 7 days, that's quick. Boobies going up and down, she's fit. Hold up, wait, rewind that shit. Got uncut gems, Adam Sandler.
Stan culture terrifies me. Going so far as to steal your favorite streamer's water bottle at a convention, or getting a tattoo of a YouTuber's single strand of hair is alarming and should probably be studied.
This girl tattooed Drake on her forehead. It was love. I mean, it's crazy. It's surreal. I don't even want to look at it anymore because it's super surreal, you know. Yeah.
Celebrity worship, though, is far from a new concept. And truthfully, in small doses, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. To a certain extent, everyone looks up to and draws inspiration from somebody. But an entire subset of the population exalting powerful oligarchs and hailing those at the very top of the societal totem pole as saviors of humanity is what starts to make me a little uneasy, personally. Maybe that makes me crazy, but in my mind, no one else encapsulates this quite better than perhaps the most talked about guy on the planet right now. A tech mogul and multi-billionaire CEO who gained a particularly staunch fan base with his frequent use of Twitter, depicting himself as a reputable genius with big ideas for the future and revolution.
Yes, I walked away from the video to take a piss. Also, Jay Aubrey is a friend of the show. Update on Buddha. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was texting him this morning. He's out of the hospital. Here, let's look at this update on Buddha real quick, and then we'll continue with the video. Hey all, got discharged today. They claimed the surgery went well and kept me at the hospital to make sure I was okay. I go back for a CT scan in 2 weeks, but assuming all goes well, I don't show any symptoms, I should make a full recovery in a few months. Right now, I'm on an anti-seizure meds that will be taken day by day. No timetable for return, considering this was one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. Thank you for all the kind words and love. It means a lot and helps me push through. We'll update here when I can. Buddha is a friend of mine that I met during RP. This guy right here, that's his character in RP, and he is a Twitch streamer. He lives with Blastoise, and Tony, who is another RP guy. Blastoise is RP2, and Ali, also known as Myth. But I'm glad he's okay.
Revolutionizing the automobile industry with the first ever exploding cars, making headlines most recently for his acquisition of the biggest mass communication site on the face of the internet. While some say he's the very elitist oligarch his fans claim to despise, others continue to insist he's not like the other girls being billionaires. He works for us, the people, vowing to spring humanity forward.
It literally shows how fucking simple and stupid people are, by the way. Like, assuming that Elon Musk has your best interest in mind, only because he, like, reposts, you know, memes from 2008. Okay? It just goes to show, like, how easy it is to dupe some of these fucking defenders of billionaires. I mean, it is mind-boggling. They are so fucking stupid, dude.
To explore new frontiers outside of our planetary boundaries, right? But how honest is this image he wants us to buy into? That's what I'm here to find out today, as we peel back the curtain behind the most beloved savior of Earth, Elon Musk.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk.
Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971 in a capital city of South Africa by the name of Pretoria. Brought up alongside two younger siblings by his mother May, a Canadian-born model and dietitian, and his incestuous father Errol, a South African electromechanical engineer, pilot, sailor, consultant, and property developer, meaning it goes without saying that Elon was born.
You cry, but he still does more than other billionaires? Yes, you're right. I have yet to see another billionaire create mass labor action this much against themselves this quickly, ever. Okay? So you are right. He does do more. Yeah. Like, in that regard, Elon Musk is like a fucking revolutionary. You know what I mean? He is the dialectical force of evil that is so transparently bad at his fucking job of being a capital owner that all he needed to do was just sit around and just let his money printer continue in the same way that fucking Bill Gates does, for example. But he decided instead to be the fucking forward face of billionaire failure. And for that, you know, I respect him. I think that's great. I'm glad he did that. Congratulations. Thank you, Elon Musk.
Born into a life of extravagant wealth, a fortune that only grew larger when his father stumbled upon a golden opportunity to sell the family's private jet to some Italians in exchange for half a Zambian emerald mine, giving the family access to all the emeralds they could have ever wanted. Gems which, interestingly enough, Errol claims to have sold himself, hiring a cutter in Johannesburg and pawning them off along his trips as an engineer across the globe. Though that all depends on who you ask. While Elon was once happy to discuss the mine in 2014, he's since denied it ever existing. Not sure what happened there. Maybe he just a bit forgetful.
There's no evidence whatsoever of an emerald mine. That's crazy. This is going to sound slightly crazy, but my father also had a share in an emerald mine in Zambia. I was 15 and I really wanted to go with him. Elon in 2014.
Errol, though, detailed the scale of the family's luxury in a 2018 interview with Business Insider, stating, "We had so much money at times we couldn't even close our safe. With one person holding the money in place, another would slam the door. And then there'd still be all..."
Okay, I love this. This is like comical. That's like a very funny, cartoonish way to describe wealth, okay? That's like saying, we had so much money, sometimes I would plunge in to my gold, like I'm Daffy Duck, you know what I mean? Just Scrooge McDuck. I would plunge into the fucking pool at the home that was filled to the brim with gold coins.
These notes sticking out, and we'd sort of pull them out and put them in our pockets. Being driven to school in a convertible Rolls Royce, the Musk children had thoroughbred horses to ride and motorbikes at the age of 14, as Errol went on to describe in another interview. An illustrious lifestyle that not everybody in apartheid South Africa could relate to say the least. See, at the time, Elon belonged to a rich minority who was granted better education and healthcare opportunities, giving him a significant head start compared to the less advantaged groups during apartheid. Not everybody's dad owned a stake in a Zambian emerald mine, is what I'm trying to say. Having an influential family with the relevant resources and connections to get ahead is what ultimately allowed him to move to Canada during his teen years. The truth was
that's a certified banger from Felix. You know, guy who does computers at work. This is really gonna upset all people who do computers at work who are all gay and weak. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's it. That is the same shit. That's exactly what Ben Shapiro did earlier as well, okay? Same fucking energy, same shit. Literally. My favorite genre of conservative tweet is dandy boys who grew up playing the violin in Los Angeles using the gay Twitter app to signal to other dandy lads how masked they are. Oh, man. That fucking owned, dude. We're owning all the other gay guys, which we are not a part of, okay? We are so strong. We weld. Okay,
his parents had been divorced since 1980, and living with his dad was a decision he ultimately came to regret, as the two had more than a turbulent relationship. A cushy upbringing didn't mean one free of familial trauma.
Very violent. It was not a happy childhood. My father has this
serious issues.
Elon describing his now estranged father as a terrible human being, emotionally abusing his children their entire lives. Which isn't too surprising when you consider he's admitted to having a child with his stepdaughter 40 years his junior, despite raising her since the age of 4. So, after obtaining a Canadian visa through his mother, Elon would then move to the US, attending the University of Pennsylvania and graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree in physics and a Bachelor of Science in economics by the mid-90s, when he then moved to San Diego with plans to obtain a PhD at Stanford. Though Elon quickly changed course as he watched the company Netscape go public with a valuation of about $3 billion. Being a fan of computers and sci-fi his entire life, Elon was enamored with the business potential of the consumer internet, dropping out of Stanford after just 2 days and chasing the money during the dot-com boom.
There was also additional fake degree stuff that came out, by the way. Where the fuck is it? Here it is. Someone has said Elon Musk has lied for 27 years about his credentials. He does not have a BS in physics or any technical field, did not get into a PhD program. He dropped out in 1995 and was illegally in the States. Stanford, he did not actually attend as well. Stanford was the one we knew about. I didn't know about the University of Pennsylvania one, though. Later, investors quietly arranged a diploma, but not in science. Musk has falsely claimed a degree in physics from the University of Pennsylvania that he obtained in 1995. Okay? When he, in fact, had no such degree, and the only degree he holds was obtained later than that. Upon information and belief, Musk's only known undergraduate degree is a Bachelor of Science in Economics obtained from the University of Pennsylvania in 1997. In various securities registration statements filed for PayPal with the Securities and Exchange Commission, Musk repeatedly represented himself as having received a BS in physics from the University of Pennsylvania and a BS in economics from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania in 1995. Here it is. Musk co-founded Zip2 Corp in 1995, where he worked in a number of roles, including chairman, CEO, CTO. Mr. Musk received a BS in physics from the University of Pennsylvania and a BS in economics from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania in 1995. That did not happen. He lied to be able to, he faked it till he made it, basically. Because we were talking about this last night, and people were like, why does he feel the need to lie about this shit? Well, the reason why he had to lie about it is because that gave him bona fides. That gave him like a qualification that he did not have, and it allowed him to con people.
If the goal is to start a company, I would say no point in finishing college. In my case, I had to, otherwise I'd get kicked out of the country. So that was important. But
although you went on and got a master's degree as well, right?
I came out to Silicon Valley to do a PhD at Stanford in applied physics and material science to work on ultracapacitors for use in electric cars. And that's what I was going to do. And then I decided to put that on hold to start a company. But since I already had my undergrad, I could then get an H-1B visa and that kind of thing. So the H-1B visa requires a degree. But other than that, I would have, if that wasn't the case, I probably would have stopped education sooner. So it really depends on.
I mean, dude, that's like, yeah, I was gonna be a neurosurgeon. Yeah, as the chatter also pointed out, I was gonna become a neuroscientist, but I decided, whatever, like, it's fine. I don't need that actually. No one disputes his economics degree. How was he in the country illegally? Oh, because he actually didn't get it. He dropped out in 1995. And when he dropped out in 1995 as an immigrant, he was overstaying his visa, which I don't have a problem with, by the way, for the record. And then they offered him an honorary degree after. To be clear, no one cares about the degree. The immigration violation is history. What matters is Elon's big lie, pretending to be what he isn't. The academic stolen valor subverts judgment, but he's a genius, and it opens him to influence and makes him a security risk. Elon's key influences are the PayPal mafia capos, Peter Thiel and David Sachs. They urged him to buy Twitter, advise him on running it, both with childhoods in apartheid South Africa, angry culture wars at Stanford, now working in Thiel's political project to upend democracy. So Elon matters. And people around him are not America's friends. Someone has to call out these secrets. Not America's friends. Yeah, I mean, who gives a fuck about America, okay? They're capitalists. I think what I care about more is that What I care about more is that he's just, you know, they're capital owners themselves, never care about a particular nation state. They care about advancing the interests of capital. And Elon Musk is no different than anybody else. What I care about is that he is so transparently bad at being a con man that his elevation to the highest stage really, I think, can be singled out to point to as an example of how capitalism works in general. Okay? Most likely outcomes of the Ukraine war, if you scare people enough, they will demand the removal of freedom as a path to tyranny. Most profitable outcome by far is a horrible war of attrition that destroys Ukraine and severely damages Russia with a massive body count on both sides. And in the end, the same outcome. This is like, that's not a bad fucking take from Elon Musk, by the way. I don't know why the fuck people are, I don't know why, that's not wrong. I love when people yell at Elon Musk for, you know, everything that he does and then end up like arriving at one time when he's like correct. A broken clock moment. Elon Musk's crusade against Twitter escalated from a war of words to a full-on takeover. He was egged behind the scenes by a mix of voices from fellow billionaires and internet trolls. Okay, let's get back to the fucking video.
Convenient timing imaginable for a guy like Elon to be enveloped in Silicon Valley. After hearing a botched pitch from a Yellow Pages representative during his time as an intern, Elon recognized the need for searchable directories online and conferred with his brother / good friend of another famous billionaire whose name escapes me, Kimball, to do just that. After being primarily—
Ooh, he said the Kimball. Ooh, he dropped the motherfucking Kimball pedogate connection, dude. Oh, I love Aubrey.
Funded by Errol, Elon and Kimball's Zip2 sought to provide and license online city guide software to newspapers. And if that sounds boring, it is. I'm not gonna lie, it's boring. And frankly, it's an idea so basic, it would have been invented by somebody else had Elon not been at the right place at the right time. But what I find funny is that throughout its early stages, Elon would impress potential investors by building a giant fake casing around a smaller computer to make it seem like Zip2 was some kind of massive supercomputer when
he did this every single time. He never had a working Tesla Roadster. He literally just fucking changed. He changed the chassis and like the outside of a fucking other car and made it seem it's the same. The human robot that danced is the exact same. He has always done this. It was literally a Mercedes-Benz, right? Or was it a Lotus? Oh, yeah, it was a Lotus. Okay, yeah. No, that's how he does it every time. And it's like documented too. Art of the deal, baby. He has always been a fucking scam artist. TrueAnon's coverage on Elon Musk's trajectory was one of the best pieces of podcasting I've ever fucking consumed, okay? I'll say it to this day. It was so goddamn good. It was so ahead of the game too. Like,
it wasn't. Kicking off a disturbing pattern of lying to investors that's—
Wait, can you explain the connection between him and Jeffrey Epstein? I'm out of the loop. Kimball Musk, his brother, dated one of the girls that was living in the Jeffrey Epstein compound in New York. Kimball Musk, his brother, Elon Musk's brother, who also operated the failed, what was it, like renewable energy, the fucking sun panel shtick that they had for a brief while that they kind of have like a solar city. That brother is also connected to Jeffrey Jebediah Epstein.
Seemed to follow
in more ways than
throughout
one
his entire career, but we'll get into all that later. See, Elon and Cowboy Kimball finally scored their first investment from a venture capital firm for $3 million, on the one condition that Elon step aside as CEO and allow a more seasoned tech executive to take his place. While Elon has always pushed to keep himself in the spotlight, Zip2 needed the money, so he agreed. It was at this point that newer, more skilled programmers were hired hired and tasked with rewriting a huge bulk of Elon's code, as it was evident his skills were self-taught, which is a mild way of putting it when you consider how much needed to be fixed. Like, I'm a YouTuber who doesn't know anything about coding, but because his approach apparently didn't include chunking, he created what's known as a hairball, or a tangled mess of code that's nearly impossible to unravel if anything goes wrong. So hey, maybe coding wasn't his strong suit, but that's okay because neither was managing, apparently. With one former vice president alleging Elon would get really angry if the entire company wasn't still at their desks working past 9 o'clock at night.
That's crazy. Doesn't that seem exactly like what's going on right now? With one notable exception, that it's the top of the hour and it's time for another 60-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you could do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. It's not 9 p.m., it's 2 p.m. here in California, Los Angeles, folks. And it's time for a 60-second ad break. This time right on the motherfucking dot. You can also get gifted a sub. There's also a hype train happening right now. If you're lucky, you can get gifted a sub. If you're not lucky, though, make your own luck. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Really not on today, buddy. At least we're on time. God's third leg. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Chili Cookie, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Allowing 15 people to no longer see the motherfucking ads. Banjo Paints and General Justinian, thank you for the 5 gifted subs as well.
Which I find hard to believe, personally.
I'm Mr. TV. Thank you for the 50 gifted subs. Holy shit.
Employees to the point of exhaustion has never been documented at any point throughout his career. But after eventually organizing a coup to reinstate himself as CEO, Elon became a millionaire when Zip2 sold to Compaq in 1999.
Thank you, Jolene
with his
Cujo.
7% share of the company scoring him a $22 million payday. Money that he would then sink into an uninsured $1 million car he later totaled, not before inviting CNN over to film the equivalent of a really expensive unboxing video.
I'd like to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. That'd be cool.
He wanted to make himself famous. In fact, it's possible he cared more about his image than just about anything else. You'll see in a minute that the drive behind all of Elon's business ventures relied more on Elon making himself a cult
Thank you,
of
Catboy
personality
Collector,
than
with the 10
actually
gifted subs.
improving the world in direct, tangible ways. As we
By the way, that's how you know, one thing that like you always see from all these like fucking meme accounts and shit that's always like pointing to like Jay-Z used to wear chains all the time. And then when he became a billionaire, he stopped wearing chains, or like, look at the difference between this rapper who's wearing a chain and like this actual billionaire who does not. Like, that's the oldest meme in the fucking game. And Elon Musk unironically was like, nah, fuck that. Like, I'm going to be the meme. I'm going to go and fucking buy a McLaren that I cannot pay for. Before crashing it and almost dying, by the way, that was pretty funny. Bleep Bloops, thank you for the 25, get the subs. Like, literally purchasing a car way outside of his fucking, way outside of his price point. Way outside of his fucking pay grade. And doing it in the most like obvious, the awful way possible, and then people still hyping him up for it.
We see in the story of X.com, which despite its name, wasn't a porn site.
So this is an ATM. What we're going to do is transform the traditional banking industry. I do not fit the picture of a banker. Raising $50 million is a matter of making a series of phone calls.
This is where Elon's story gets even more convoluted and dishonest.
It was 1/20th his payout. Exactly, bro. It's like, can you imagine you make $100,000, make a fucking $100,000, and then you just go out and immediately the first thing you do is just drop a fucking $5,000 purchase. Like, that's crazy. That's an awful fucking dumb financial thing to do. Buy a Taycan. The Taycan is so inside of my fucking purchase range. I don't know how to describe it to you. A lot of you motherfuckers don't know how to do math, okay? You don't understand how math works. You know how many fucking subscribers I have. What the fuck are you talking about?
When going through his list of accomplishments, many incorrectly credit Elon for founding PayPal, when in fact, he didn't. His company X.com merged with another company that had already created and been using PayPal for up to a year prior. While he promised to revolutionize online banking by throwing $12 million at X.com, all he actually managed to do was talk up a big game and make up a bunch of false promises about an online banking software in order to woo investors. The truth was, their technology was faulty at best, with one glaring flaw even allowing users to transfer money from any.
This one was the most bananas thing that even I didn't know about. One of the issues, this issue was so fucking bananas, dude.
Account in the nation's
PayPal under Musk once gave credit cards to anyone who wanted one. I mean, great.
Banking system using only an account number. Employees felt as though Elon had promised the moon and the stars, but had in return delivered nothing close to it. So they were leaving in droves along with one of the co-founders. Struggling to support itself, X.com merged with a competing payment company called Confinity, owned by fellow billionaire and enjoyer of young people's blood, Peter Thiel. He and Confinity received widespread press coverage in 1999 with the launch of PayPal. But despite misconceptions, PayPal was ultimately a product of Confinity, only adopting the name X.com because it was thought to have more marketability than the names Confinity or even PayPal, which was abandoned when early consumers thought it was a porn thing, so they went with PayPal. And it didn't help that Elon was suspected by executive Roelof Botha of not disclosing important financial details to the board, and with the company losing so much money under Elon, more and more people there were questioning his decision making. So they organized a coup to overthrow him as CEO and replace him with Bloodman Thiel. It worked, and Elon was removed from his executive position at PayPal while on his way to Australia, cutting his honeymoon a little short. As for PayPal, both of these nuts justified the decision by claiming it would have killed the company if Elon stayed on as CEO for 6 more months. Though Elon still kept his stake in PayPal and made about $180 million when it sold to eBay in 2002.
This is my favorite genre, again, other than like wimpy conservatives being like, I'm a manly man because I say what manly men should be doing. This is like when you already have money, okay? Especially if you're in the right place in the right time. Silicon Valley, when the tech bubble is like developing after the dot-com bubble has ended and people have forgotten. Or the dot-com bubble has just ended and the tech bubble is like exploding. You just basically, as long as you sit in the right fucking seat, you're set. Like you will literally fail upwards over and over again. Like this motherfucker was fired from his job and made $180 million, dude.
He cashed out, but I cannot emphasize enough how little he actually had to do with making the company a success. And he certainly wasn't a founder despite going to extreme lengths to make you think he was. But at least Elon only did this once, right? Right?
He wasn't the founder in the sense of he wasn't, we started it.
I'm not sure why he has to also say that he was a founder when he wasn't. I don't understand that.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Before we go any further, let me clear something else up. Elon is not the founder of Tesla. Despite this lie being spewed
it's just like so weird that people, they still repeat this shit. Like they still say it. This motherfucker is bought into everything that he supposedly fucking founded. Okay? And I'm sure Aubrey will get into this now. Every venture after the fucking Silicon Valley shit that he was like fired from or was not able to fuck up because people smarter than him in the same circles who were also demons were like, dude, calm the fuck down, okay? We're just going to make you money against your will. Shut the fuck up. Basically, every single one of his businesses are reliant on government subsidies. Like they are alive with government subsidies. That's it. No other way for them to operate. Okay? Kept afloat by government subsidies.
casually across the internet over and over, the company's real founders go by the names of Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who formally incorporated Tesla Motors in July 2003. It wasn't until February of 2004 that Elon Musk even came into the picture, becoming the largest shareholder with an investment of $6.5 million. Becoming chairman of the board, but until he became CEO, he wasn't really a big part of the company. Even now, some of the only patents to his name have to do with door designs and the charging mechanism that makes Tesla chargers exclusive to Tesla.
His patent is just on the connecting point, and not the cable or really the tech, just the shape and locking mechanism of the charging port. Seems like it might have to do with the fact that you can't charge any electric vehicle at a Tesla station, just Tesla cars. And one of the things Musk definitely did early in Tesla production is push for as many charging stations as they could make, meaning that one of the reasons their cars sell so much is because their charging stations account for about 40% of the stations in the US.
Which, gee, sure sounds like a way to squeeze more affordable electric car companies out of the market, but what do I know? Elon at first clashing with Tesla founders after they failed to mention his name in an interview with the New York Times, because why would they? He wasn't CEO. Threatening to pull out of the company, though, if they didn't call back and issue a correction. Elon's pettiness was on full display. Elon was obsessed with being the face of it all. Probably what drove him to out Eberhard from the company in 2007, illegally denying his severance, resulting in a storm of lawsuits and counter lawsuits alike, as Eberhard slammed Elon for attempting to rewrite history and gave himself the title of founder. A settlement was eventually reached outside the court, but it's hard to imagine Eberhard doesn't hold any resentment towards the man who kicked him out of his own company.
Can you describe the moment?
It's just funny because like a lot of this stuff happened. The media certainly sided with the wealthier billionaire in that regard, right? Rather than the wealthy inventors and the OG people who worked on it, right? And they kind of played a role in whitewashing Elon Musk and making it seem as though he was truly the fucking founder and shit like that. But right now, this exact same thing is happening once again. But regardless of how much good nature Elon Musk has been able to fucking build by memeing, okay, by making jokes, like repeating 9gag shit, okay? Ultimately, because it's happening so publicly on Twitter, which is the PR platform, that it is impossible to avoid. I don't think that there are still as many people that are like loyalists to Elon in the same way now as there were before the purchase. I just don't think so. I can't comprehend that. I'm sure I know the dick riders that stayed are dick riding extra hard. They're dick riding like their lives depend on it. But there's no way that it's the same amount of people. Like a lot of people thought, oh yeah, he's a genius, that guy, right? Like he's a smart guy. He's a billionaire. He's a smarty pants. Like he knows what the fuck is going on. You don't know. You're not a genius. Shut the fuck up. You're not a billionaire. But I don't think that he still has the same level with I don't think he still has like as massive a group of people who feel that way because he's so publicly failing on the PR website.
That you realized you could no longer be part of Tesla?
No.
Is there anything you can say about why you left?
I was voted off the island, and in a rather rude way. It wound up with some lawsuits and some settlements, and it's history now. Yeah, so I can't say a lot about it.
Yeah. Going to show that the reality of who Elon Musk is doesn't exactly reflect the big chungus epic wholesome 1000 Reddit image he tries to put forward. At the core, he's still just a soulless businessman. And I promise no amount of Dogecoin is ever gonna change that.
To the moon!
Given that.
With Elon at the helm, Tesla has long pioneered the automobile industry by producing accessible and affordable electric vehicles that are both safe for the environment and available for the everyman to enjoy. Assuming the everyman can afford a $50,000 car, but hey, they help the environment, right? Oh, mining lithium for Tesla batteries causes soil degradation, water shortages, biodiversity loss, and literally increases global warming? Damn, well, at least Elon sold them anyway, despite knowing Model S batteries tended to break down and catch fire in 2012. It was also reported in 2017 that 90% of Teslas that rolled off the assembly line came with some kind of issue that needed to be fixed retroactively. Some buyers reported their cooling system was cobbled together with planks of wood, while other anecdotal testimonies revealed a trend of cosmetic issues even on their most expensive
I mean, I don't agree with everything there. Like, I think across the board, you can basically say that about all EVs at that point. And I don't know if you can, I mean, it's just the future and it will get better. It will certainly get better. Some of the builds, the Tesla specific issues though are, the Tesla specific issues you can complain about 100% though. Because like they are 100%, they do have a lot of fucking faulty manufacturing.
Trims. In 2020, Tesla users reported an outage that prevented them from getting into their vehicles. The range of the Model S was once beaten out by another electric vehicle, literally made out of trash. The autopilot was once so unsafe that you could bypass the safety feature by shoving a piece of fruit into the steering wheel. The panel gaps are obvious, the plastic is often loose, and the bumpers have been known to fall off in the rain. The NHTSA has opened up at least 35 investigations into Tesla's autopilot after being involved in over 400 accidents since July 2021. Lawsuits continue to pile up over Tesla's apparent phantom braking. Fires involving lithium-ion batteries are notoriously hard for firefighters to extinguish, which is especially unfortunate when you consider Teslas catch fire so often that there's an entire category on the Tesla Wikipedia dedicated to such incidents. Spontaneously catching fire in the store, causing house fires when parked in the garage, even bursting into flames while being washed, with Tesla fires ultimately being responsible for over 30 confirmed deaths. Which doesn't fill me with confidence personally. Really nothing more than a death trap masquerading as a cheap status symbol, which is one of the very few genuine accomplishments to Elon's name. He took the electric car mainstream. At the very least, you could say Tesla's popularity has forced other car manufacturers to pursue their own electric models, most of which seem way more promising than whatever the fuck is going on at Tesla. A company so notorious for OSHA violations, I probably could have made this entire video solely about their horrible working conditions.
We're hearing from a former Tesla employee who sued and won a discrimination lawsuit against the automaker. ABC News reporter Rebecca Jarvis has more on the racial abuse he endured.
On April 16th, 2018, a nonprofit investigative journalism site by the name of Reveal News published the results of an investigation that discovered a rampant slew of employee injuries at Tesla's.
You know when I knew I would never buy a Tesla ever? When I was in one that was old and the batteries had fallen apart completely and it was melting super fucking fast. Like the battery would run out way faster than it's supposed to. And everyone in the fucking chat in Texas was telling me that I should just not use the air conditioning. That's when I was like, I will never buy a fucking Tesla. Like when people were just like, dude, just don't use the AC. It was like 110 degrees in fucking Texas, okay? And people literally were like, dog, just don't buy. Just don't use the AC. When the car was idling and the AC was on, I could watch the battery, I was watching the battery fucking go. It was battery degradation on the Tesla. Absolutely. Okay. I understand that. I'm talking more about the fact that like Tesla lovers, Tesla loyalists were so unhinged in that regard that I was like, one, I don't want a Tesla. Okay, this is insane. And two, the fucking fandom is even more insane.
Fremont, California factory that had gone unreported after the company claimed to have made the factory safer than it used to be. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but not reporting a guy's inhalation injuries from breathing in toxic glue doesn't mean it didn't happen. In fact, failing to log serious injuries on government-mandated reports to make your company look safer than it actually is illegal. But right as this investigation was made public, Elon spouted off on Twitter. The problem is journos are under constant pressure to get max clicks and to earn advertising dollars or get fired. After journalist Jessica Huseman reminded him that Reveal News was a non-profit that doesn't have advertisers, Elon suggested they're all rich kids in Berkeley who took their political science prof too seriously. Tesla going on to smear Reveal News as an extremist organization working directly with union supporters to create a calculated disinformation campaign, even though Reveal was just the messenger, basing the report on medical documents, OSHA records, 911 calls, and Tesla's own injury logs, speaking with 5 former members of the Tesla safety team, along with dozens of other former and current employees. Some were union, but
I'm surprised Elon Musk didn't call them pedophiles.
Others weren't.
That's usually his other step in the you know. That's usually what he does too. That's the other thing that he likes doing.
Employees who described a chaotic factory floor where speed trumped safety. It's been reported that workers were crushed by forklifts, burned in electrical fires, sprayed with molten metal, and sliced by machinery named after X-Men characters. And that's just according to the ones they reported, which amounted to about 722 total injuries in 1 year, or roughly 2 a day. Even over a year later, Tesla still had 3 times as many OSHA violations as the 10 largest US plants combined, which may have had something.
Bro, some of these plants literally use child labor. Okay? Like, that's why when I say Tesla is now the largest American car manufacturer without a unionized workplace, that's why I mentioned this shit. It's super significant. It's a car manufacturer that almost entirely relies on government subsidies in the form of carbon credits. Like, that's what kept it afloat in times when Tesla was near bankruptcy. Time and time again. Okay? And it is an American manufacturing, it is an American car manufacturer, and it does not have unions. Okay? The federal government can do something about it. And they're not.
To do with the lack of yellow hazard marks around the factory. As the Reveal article alleges, concerned about bone-crunching collisions and the lack of clearly marked pedestrian lanes at the plant, the General Assembly Line's then lead safety professional went to her boss, who she said told her Elon does not like the color yellow, along with him also supposedly personally disliking the sound of forklifts backing up. Pretty insane claims Elon has since denied in the same breath as threatening to take away stock options from union workers, which landed him in court. If someone said Elon doesn't like something, you were concerned because you could lose your job, stated the former environmental compliance manager. So not only have employees...
Hey, by the way, another common thread. Another common thread, Elon being like a diligent micromanager and a petulant narcissistic man baby who will fire people for random shit that he doesn't personally appreciate.
Employees blamed the unprecedented number of injuries.
If one more motherfucker tells me Elizabeth Theranos Holmes is sentenced to 11 years, I am going to send you to prison with them. I know, I heard you. You are not the first to market with this news story, okay? Every motherfucker turns into the newsboy with the news cap, you know? Like, extra, Elizabeth Holmes sentenced to 11 years in prison. Read all about it. I got it, man. I fucking got it. I know. We're looking at something different right now. Shut the fuck up!
On Elon's supposed relaxed approach to safety, but Tesla didn't even report all of it. When injuries were brought to light on a public scale, however, Elon promised to personally meet with all the injured employees and even visit the floor of the Tesla factory to do their jobs for them, which would have been cool if he had ever actually done it. And this was all before making his employees return to work at the height of COVID, resulting in an outbreak, defying public health orders and causing 450 plus cases at his own factory in 2021 is far from his initial prediction that there'd be 0 new cases of COVID by April 2020. And while it's
That was another really good one. Remember when you said that? That was awesome.
worth noting, Tesla isn't the only car manufacturer known for this kind of unethical activity. It's also important to keep in mind, we don't worship other tech or car CEOs as such brilliant architects of the future who will bring humanity to the next step by installing chips in our brains or whatever.
In a lot of ways, it's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull.
That is another fucking insane project. The Neuralink project and its medical ethics violations have been hilariously fucking grim. Monkeys ripping their fucking faces off. Holy shit.
With tiny wires. If they're inserted very carefully, so that the robot actually images the brain and makes sure to avoid any veins or arteries so that the electrodes can be inserted with no noticeable damage. You sort of think like if you stab something with a wire, surely it will bleed, but actually at a really small scale, it does not.
Most visionaries, though, don't end up sued by the state of California over reports of, quote, rampant racism that have been around for years. According to a 39-page report from 2022,
Tesla was literally the racism
Black
factory.
employees were not only denied promotions and given harsher punishments than others, but black workers and black workers only were forced to scrub the floor on their hands and knees. Tesla's response to these claims has been both poor and dismissive, shoving the racism allegations to the side to instead brag about how much they've done for sustainability and clean energy, which is pretty fucking ironic considering how much money they pull in from selling their carbon credits.
But Tesla still isn't profitable. Their stated goal is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy.
Second thought.
But Tesla's actual strategy is exploiting well-meaning government climate programs. Look at carbon credits. Government permits to emit a certain quantity of greenhouse gases. Companies earn carbon credits for reducing emissions and have to spend them when they emit too much. Tesla earns a lot, then sells them to other companies, erasing whatever progress Tesla made. The boost from selling carbon credits led to some of the only profitable quarters Tesla had ever had.
So they're basically monetizing.
It literally saved Tesla from bankruptcy more than once. Like, not even a joke. It not only was the only reason why they ever turned profit, but it saved them from bankruptcy when they were not delivering fucking cars and basically utilizing the pre-existing deposits and down payments that they were getting to try and deliver as many cars as they try and build as many cars as they possibly could, and failing to meet the original like delivery dates.
Pollution that Elon has most definitely contributed to with his rocket-related vanity project.
Why discredit your whole video with the fake racism story? Yeah, you know, notoriously the court system is so fucking cool. That like they are notoriously anti-racist, right? Like if an American federal court, if an American court finds you guilty of fucking racism in the workplace, and then basically fines you to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars, which then, of course, was the award was too much, so they lowered it. Perhaps maybe you did that, you know? Perhaps maybe the racism stuff happened. If the monkeys are bred in the lab, they can do whatever they want. Elon's bootlickers, his dick riders are awesome. $2 million car sales up 200%. Haters, they're producing 2 million. That was then. This is now. Exactly. This is fake. Racism exists everywhere. It's not exclusive. Wait, what? Dude, what are these people saying right now? Racism exists everywhere. So like what? Okay, but we're talking about it existing to a degree in fucking Tesla that allowed a tremendous amount of awards to be given to someone who experienced it. Tesla bag holders who lost 50% of their wealth? Yeah. Also, Tesla famously had to recall like 90% of its fucking fleet, but that's besides the point, right? I know the dick riders at Tesla were like, well, it's just about, the backup camera. And, some cars don't even need that. It's like, well, if you put it in your fucking car, then you best believe that the trunk should not fuck up the backup camera, because then all of a sudden you have to do a recall to 90% of the fucking cars that are out there. Goddamn. I hate that the truth is in between what the dick rider say and what this ridiculous video says. Nobody's interested in that because everyone just wants to dive off either extreme. Anything I say about the fucking recall incorrect? By the way, it's been over a year and I still haven't had a service center appointment scheduled for it. I wonder where those parts are. Yeah. Fango and Megaphonics are the two EV evangelists in the fucking chat. Fango writes about EVs in general. Sorry, I just got here because Megaphonics tagged me. You're not wrong about the recall. I was referring to the fire parts of the video. Wait, what do you mean the fire parts? Oh yeah. EV evangelists hate when people talk about fucking how electric vehicles catch on fire and are notoriously almost impossible to fucking, yeah, because it's wrong. Okay, brother. I mean, it's not wrong. I have an electric vehicle. I understand that. Lithium fires are very, very difficult to take, very difficult to control. Part of the reason why Porsches have a different colored brake pad on their electric vehicles is to specify that, it's a lithium battery in there. So you need a completely different set of firefighting tools to deal with it. Right? Isn't that how that works?
When he can even get them approved for launch, that is. One being denied in 2020 after the FAA cited a tweet from Musk himself where he predicts a 1 in 3 chance of success. Get this, he launched anyway, and the rocket blew up. I mean, what are we even doing at this point? But who cares? Tesla and SpaceX are thriving. Tesla's value being so high, in fact, that it can never fail, I think. Actually, it's been reported as one of the most overvalued companies in the world because it's seen as a tech company, not a car company. It's why they've got such a lead on Toyota, for example, despite having to recall so much of their inventory. But at least Elon has some great ideas on how to revolutionize the way we get around.
Traffic is soul destroying. It's like,
this is my least favorite Elon thing. Okay. I'm not even kidding. I don't know why, but this is so grating. What he's about to talk about right now is so fucking soul-sucking. Like, it is personally offensive. Like, he has done so much. He has been a con man from the jump. He may or may not have done, allegedly, sexual harassment to employees. The racism thing is definitely real. But this uniquely offends me. One, because I live in California and traffic is a major problem. But two, because I love infrastructure. And this, it actually fucking like melts my soul that people were defending this. It is the worst thing, I swear to God. Taking away infrastructure dollars to build a tunnel that only works for Teslas is one of the grossest things that you can do with public funds. Okay?
It's like acid on the soul. It's horrible. This is, I think, finally, there's something that I think could solve the goddamn traffic problem.
After finding himself stuck in traffic one day in 2016, Elon envisioned a bright future where people could travel in a less congested environment, vowing to instill a safe, earthquake-proof underground network of tunnels to help you get from point A to point B in reduced time. And if you're thinking, hey, that sounds a lot like a subway, you're right, except these are only for Teslas and can only take on a fraction of the people a subway can carry. Described as a dangerous and uncomfortable death trap by people that have actually used it.
Oh my, there's a traffic jam.
Oh, you know what? When it's busy with new people constantly, it's not too bad. But when it's slow and you're by yourself, it kind of gets a little boring sometimes.
So Elon somehow managed to come up with a less efficient, more costly version of something that already exists and works perfectly fine. In fact, one would think the more responsible thing to do for society would be to put more money into public transportation rather than create your own tunnel system from scratch that would require time, resources, and billions of dollars to complete. There's a reason we only have one of these things coming out of a Las Vegas convention center and not the elaborate network Elon once promised. But if I had $1 for all the times Elon failed to go through on a promise, I'd be able to buy Twitter. Making such absurd predictions that don't end up happening, between Tesla battery swapping to saying there will be 1 million robo-taxis on the road by 2020, promising a self-driving Model 3, connecting our brains to computers, and saying he's gonna put people on Mars in the next 10 years.
Battery swapping worked. It was just inconvenient. Yeah. I know EV guys. I know. Tesla Roadster, Cybertruck, a humanoid robot that was supposedly going to work, living on Mars, Mars colonization. Elon Musk has never, he's just never told the truth. The only reason why he is kept afloat, don't forget the Hyperloop. I don't want to talk about that. It is so gross. I don't want to talk about it. We moved on from that part of the project. Please stop mentioning its name. Okay? It is so, like, it gives me an aneurysm to think about. Okay? It gives me a fucking aneurysm to think about a psychotic libertarian billionaire being able to fucking justify taking additional dollars away from our already crippled infrastructure to build personal fucking tunnels. You want a high-speed rail in California? What a fucking nerd. It will happen. I believe it will happen. It will happen one day. And I will ride it and I will laugh at you. Okay? I will ride it and I will laugh at you. It doesn't matter if it costs $80 billion fucking dollars a year. Okay? I don't care. It will happen one day. It's gonna happen. Stop saying hopium, copium. It's gonna happen.
Which was 10 years ago. See, setting lofty, unachievable goals for the future is a big part of Elon's business strategy. Sometimes it works out and he finds the funding he's looking for, which isn't hard to do. But other times, Elon lying on such a public scale has gotten him sued.
Homie's a fucking Boa Steakhouse. This is literally underneath Soho House, West Hollywood, where Boa is.
By the SEC when he knowingly lied about taking Tesla private at $420 while he had no plans of actually doing so. Which all goes to suggest that maybe we should approach this guy's ventures with a strong degree of caution and skepticism. Because at the end of the day, does Elon care more about helping the world or helping his image? Positing himself as the cool guy billionaire with cameos on Young Sheldon and The Simpsons only contributes to the latter. Same with going to the Met Gala and hosting what is by far one of the worst episodes of SNL I have ever seen. Maybe if he wanted to be perceived more favorably and make real, substantial societal change in the process, he'd be making more consistent donations, like when he donated $1 million to trees on one occasion, which is $166 million less than what he tried to sue a whistleblower for, and $43,999 million less than what he spent on the worst app.
Oh, come on. How are you going to not mention the $6 billion I will pay right now to fucking solve climate change tweet? Every step of the way, we are so cucked by the existence of billionaires. It is so frustrating to me. Like, people, like, billionaires could literally fucking turn around and be like, listen, bitch, I know you are, you're working at the fucking, wait, didn't I say world hunger? What did I say? Did I say climate change? Oh, my bad. It was world hunger. You're right. Like, the UN End World Hunger Plan. He literally dangled $6 billion over, got some fucking global leaders to be like, wow, yeah, that'd be great. Here, let's sit down and talk. And then he said, sorry, some people that worked for you were rapists, so I'm not going to give you any money. Shit on the fucking UN. And that's it. He just farmed clout over it. That's all he's ever done.
App on your phone.
This morning, billionaires debating the direction of the site that has an outsized impact on the spread of information. Elon Musk tweeting overnight, Twitter needs to become by far the most accurate source of information about the world. Former owner Jack Dorsey replying, accurate to who?
Elon Musk completed his takeover of Twitter in a $44 billion deal on October 23rd, 2020.
Do you think $6 billion would solve world hunger? Lamau, first and foremost, you fucking dingus. Even if it's not a permanent solution to world hunger, $6 billion would certainly go a long fucking way in helping millions of people around the fucking planet. So yes. Yep, I Millie Rock there. If you don't know the story, why comment? Their username is Naruto Roblox. You are talking to a child. Yeah, that's true. Even other Rocket CEOs are mocking Elon at this point. He also has a mostly union workforce in Florida and Alabama, unlike SpaceX. If by hardcore you mean that we are deeply inspired by space, care about our sacred duty to our missions, value our people, and treat them fairly, including a consideration of work-life balance, and take care of each other, then yes, absolutely. One, love this too, huh? You can edit tweets now. Sometimes you pay $8 is working at the moment and you catch a typo within 30 minutes. Bro, you're literally just hating as per my previous message. What? First of all, famine is not a scarcity problem. Famine is a logistics problem, and it's not even a problem at all. It is just at the heart of artificial scarcity that you need to have in order to justify paying for food. That's it. Okay? That's it. It's just logistics. And no one wants to solve it because, you know, if you solve it, then all of a sudden profits are not going to happen. All of a sudden then, if it's everything is profit-based, then you're not going to, you know, you're not going to make more food.
22. Cleaning house by immediately firing the CEO, CFO, and head of legal policy the following day, with rumors that he was about to fire 75%.
Yeah, I know California high-speed rail is already under construction, and it will continue to be under construction. Everybody that says it's never going to happen, suck my dick. It's going to happen one day. Okay? It's going to happen. And Brightline West will probably start construction next year. California will have high-speed rail before I die. Okay? 100%. That's not a joke. I mean it. I'm the most pessimistic, skeptical motherfucker of all time. It will 1,000% have high-speed rail before I die.
of Twitter's total employees, an aggressive decision he backtracked before settling on about 50%, which still amounted to over 3,700 jobs being taken away from departments including engineering and content moderation. Some employees in Ireland and Britain staying up late at night to learn about the fate of their careers at 3 in the morning. According to the New York Times, the cuts were so haphazard that at one late night meeting about the Twitter Blue subscription product, at least one worker was locked out of the company's systems during the call. The layoffs were so sudden and devastating, they prompted Twitter founder Jack Dorsey to take personal accountability for growing the company too quickly and letting it reach this point. A point where the FTC is now tracking the developments at Twitter with, quote, deep concern after key members of the security team left en masse as the company goes up in flames. With each passing day, it's becoming more apparent that Elon may be a little too in over his head, saying things about the app only to have it be corrected by the former CEO, the website itself, or employees who have been with Twitter way longer than he has, going so far as to publicly fire an engineer who didn't do anything but offer a correction
we know
in a
about
particularly public throwdown that ended with Elon using the information the guy gave him. As one user summarized the situation, Musk declares something he knows nothing about, is corrected by an employee who explains the problem, then fires that employee and presents their ideas as his own, which, as we've covered here today, is quite literally the story of his entire career. But Elon seems to be less concerned about the internal problems that could cost the company billions and more focused on fixing the problems that weren't actually there, lifting an indefinite work from home order to assure employees work 40 hours a week in person as he begins to roll out a number of asinine changes. Some of the changes having to do with content moderation and adding long-form text attachments to tweets, which is something that already exists. Why is everyone in the replies pretending that we don't already have this? Twit longer is a thing. This isn't new. The biggest change that you've probably already seen has to do with verification. Twitter, along with basically every social media site, uses a small check mark to indicate that celebrities, journalists, politicians are all the real public figures they say they are, so that people aren't fooled by impersonators. It's a pretty standard, straightforward method that has always
Wonder why he didn't use Kanye West. Aubrey, big Kanye stan. Wonder why I didn't do that.
always worked. But because Elon is obsessed with making dumb and counterproductive changes that make people...
To be fair, Aubrey is no longer a Kanye stan. I just wanted to...
people pay attention to him, he's decided to change how we view verification, coming up with a plan to charge users $8 for a check mark. But not just for celebrities, for anyone, floating the idea that paying for a subscription is the only way to make more people see your tweets.
Prioritize Twitter search, replies, mentions by verified users first.
He made it pay to play, and then still claims that, like, if you say something negative, i.e. something that he just doesn't like, he will still turn around and shadow ban you regardless, which I think is pretty funny, straight up.
And yeah, this is very, if you're payment verified with blue checkmark, then you're prioritized, and hateful conduct pays. But if somebody risks losing even $8, the net effect will be, over time, that the verified users will pretty much always be at the top of comments and search, and you won't really see, you'll have to scroll far to see the unverified users, which will be the bots and trolls and whatnot.
Incentivizing people to pay for the app by burying unverified accounts under anyone who coughs up $8 and gets a fake little participation trophy. With reports that those who do not pay for Twitter Blue will be relegated to a separate page on the site entirely. So just like his carbon credit scheme, Elon has found a way to monetize free speech rather than facilitate it. Putting it behind a paywall only assures the real avid dick writers are the ones who get their voices heard. That and anyone anyone who pays $8 to impersonate celebrities and tweet things that surely Elon would find hilarious now that comedy is legal again. The one funny thing Elon's ever done, and it was by accident. But this sudden push for subscription-based content makes more sense when we see it in a wider context.
Do you think he's intentionally tanking Twitter to limit how Americans get their news and push a further alt-right narrative? Dude, Americans don't get their news from Twitter. What the fuck are you talking about? Weirdos like us get our news from Twitter so that we can be first to market before anybody else, before like, you know, MSNBC and CNN and local news stations actually cover the news. Americans don't get their fucking news from Twitter. Also, there's already a platform that spreads way faster, spreads misinformation way faster than Twitter ever could, and that's called TikTok. And Facebook too, which has very little, I mean, its moderation is ridiculous.
As a possible attempt to recoup the losses he incurred by failing to get out of his binding obligation to buy Twitter, at least as stated by a former employee, driving home the point that these new payment options are less a demonstration of Elon's genius marketing wit and more like a desperate scramble to keep the company from going bankrupt. Elon's takeover prompting such a mass exodus of huge advertisers, i.e. where Twitter gets 90% of their revenue from. Probably having to do with the number of hate-filled tweets increasing by 5 times and the new CEO of the company himself tweeting ridiculous conspiracy theories immediately following the acquisition. Yeah, it's no surprise that brands don't want to be associated with that. No matter how much Elon threatens to thermo—
Oh no, Twitter is gone. It's GG's. Jim Cramer. Oh, it's over. Oh, it's so over. I didn't think that it was over until Jim Cramer chimed in and said, I'm not as worried as others that Twitter will suddenly not work. Call me bullish on Elon Musk and his desire to make this better. So close to his prior L's too. What did he apologize for recently? What was it? It was inverse Cramer. Yeah, the Cramer kiss of death, baby. Was it FTX? It was FTX or Meta, right? No, it wasn't FTX. It was Meta tanking. Oof. I think it was proven you can make money by hedging against him. Yeah, I'm reminded of his I had faith in Mark Zuckerberg moment.
Nuclear name and shame them in front of 110 million people, which probably won't do much to curb the billions of dollars Elon projects Twitter to lose over the next year, telling employees that bankruptcy isn't out of the question. Of course, the fact he even spent $44 billion at all, more than twice of what Twitter was worth, kinda already demonstrates that being—
There's an inverse Jim Cramer ETF that's apparently beating the market by 7%. That's crazy. Oh my God. There is no consistent mechanism year over year that can like effectively beat the stock market. Other than inverse Cramer, it seems. This is the first time that's ever happened. This is wild.
Being a billionaire, it doesn't always equate to being smart at business. Now, I'm personally not in the biggest hurry to upload my bank info to an app that just lost a chunk of its cybersecurity team, but I hope for Elon's sake that enough people pay for his dinky little check mark to keep the lights on. But at least in the meantime, he did manage to make Twitter have less ads than this video, so I'll give him that.
PayPal, SolarCity, Tesla, SpaceX, they're so spectacularly different. They're such ambitious projects at scale. How on earth has one person been able to innovate in this way? What is it about?
What? He didn't do any of those things. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Dude, this motherfucker tweets like the most unemployed person on the planet. That should have given you a clue. Dude, everyone on the TED platform is just so brain broken, dude. I swear to God, if you've done a TED Talk, it's like, there's no salvaging that. Like, there is nothing better. There is nothing better that you could point to than the fact that Elon quite literally tweets all day, every day, okay? He is tweeting non-fucking stop. How does he have time? If he's working all the goddamn time, how is he tweeting all the fucking time? That's it. Just point to them. Just point to the fucking tweets. Motherfucker is key searching himself, dude, all day, every day. all over the platform that he just bought for $44 billion. Get the fuck out of here telling me he works hard.
Despite everything we've talked about, Elon Musk is still one of the most liked and respected people.
It takes 20 seconds to send a coherent tweet, little bro. Yeah, and apparently it takes like a month to eviscerate a platform that you overpaid for, little bro. Don't defend Elon Musk, man. You just, at this point, like in this community, if you came in here and defended Elon Musk a year ago, you would still been laughed out of the room. But now you'll be laughed out of most rooms because even the most like I love capitalism weirdos have recognized that this guy is a demonstrable fucking failure. You can swallow that meat all you want. Warning, Elon meat swallowing is at an all-time high. Warning. I know, but like there isn't much meat to swallow left. You know what I mean?
On the planet. His quirky, casual internet status setting him aside from the group of other elitists who don't have a fraction of the support Elon both enjoys and exploits. His army of unrelenting fans is like a weapon he uses against the people who slightly criticize him. Like the time he baselessly accused a journalist of taking bribes for Tesla short sellers. Or at the time he called a British diver leading the charge to save a group of boys trapped in a cave a pedo guy, paying to find dirt on the man when all he did was refuse to accept Elon's submarines he didn't think could work. Maybe.
Which, by the way, American court systems are so wonderful that they actually allowed Elon to get away with that. That's crazy, right? Just think about that. Almost as crazy as thinking you won't see an ad at the top of the hour because I've been slacking on my ad delivery mechanism today, but you will see one. Unless you subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account where you get one free Prime subscription a month. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Okay? But there it is. Crazy. Delusions of grandeur. No shot that submarine would have worked. No, it like mechanically would not have been able to fit in the fucking caves. As was proven immediately. This guy is stretching the bullshit now. He sounds like a dick-eating hater. Every single thing he mentioned with respect to like his fan base, which I assume includes you, okay, the glizzy glazing goblin in the chat, is correct. You can complain about like some broader overreaching claims about like EVs, you know, batteries, things like that. And there are some, there are some areas that like if you look a little bit deeper into, there's a better explainer for why things worked out the way it did, like the battery swaps or whatever. Okay. Why is he calling the guy a pedo? He was trying to pull his torpedo into the children. Yeah. But having said that, this stuff is 100% correct. Like that's crazy. Just like you will correctly see an ad right now. Toku, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Cam Shron, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Let's go.
Maybe I'm in the minority on this, but threatening to sue a Tesla whistleblower for $160 million is far from preserving free speech. So is attempting to bribe a 17-year-old kid with a Tesla for operating
Thank you, Sisyphus, for the 20 gift the subs.
A Twitter account publicly tracking all of your flights. Or at the time he allegedly offered a flight attendant a horse after he supposedly exposed himself to her during a massage. Incidents that go completely disregarded or forgotten by his obsessed zealots who soy face at the mere mention of Elon on Rick and Morty or Iron Man or Star Trek. Elon will always be able to preserve his relatable image by annoyingly buying stankmemes.com and posting a stonk meme, or posting a Harambe rap song to SoundCloud in 2019, or charging $69,420 for a car, or manipulating the market with a stupid shit coin. See, Elon's cult following comes from the delusional assertion that despite being
it's stan culture from the most like relentless fucking annoying nerds who think that they are smarter than they actually are, supercharged by profit motive. Because like not only are you a stan, but then you also buy into the fucking stock. So all of a sudden, you're a stan with money to lose, okay? That's the reason why Elon's dick riders are on a different level. People love Taylor Swift. Swifties are kind of crazy sometimes. Turbo Killer, thank you for the 5 subs. Okay? Same with Minecraft stands. Same with any kind of stand-up, right? BTS. BTS creates music that really just, tugs at the heartstrings of many people all around the world. Same with Taylor Swift. Cinderella believes Taylor Swift has experiences that she's able to so effectively communicate. Elon Musk has stands for all the fucking most like bottom of the barrel memetics that he engages in. But then also on top of that, there's an additional factor here. Okay? I mean, there are so many different components to why people stan Elon Musk because, like, one, he is the singular force of capitalism, right? So if he fails, that means everything you learned about capitalism is probably a failure too, and you can't fucking comprehend that, and you would much rather lean into the delusions than to take a deep breath and look at it and assess the situation a little bit more seriously. There's also, there's also the idea meritocracy that you are also conditioned into believing. Elon Musk, you have to believe, is a product of meritocracy. He has to be working harder and smarter than everybody else. Otherwise, how the fuck did he make all this money? And lastly, and this is a very important component, they make money when Elon Musk, who is a key man to basically drive the skyrocketing valuation of Tesla, they make money when Elon is making money. They think they make money when Elon's making money because they've bought into the stock as well. Okay? That makes it so that all these stands are fucking insanely unhinged. The same with the crypto shit.
Being the richest man alive, he's just like us. He's a guy you'd smoke a joint with, using his goofy antics to distract from who he truly is at his core. A greedy, rich oligarch who evidently doesn't care much about the safety and livelihoods of the people he employs, or even whether or not the people on the first voyages to Mars live or die for that matter. What makes you
By the way, in that way, it's no different than Andrew Tate. Like, and Hustlers University. Remember, you buy into the multi-level marketing and the product itself is Andrew Tate. All of a sudden, you have a lot riding on making sure that Andrew Tate does not come across like a fucking delusional bald weirdo. Okay? So you're going to ride for him extra hard. You're going to cut propaganda extra hard for him. So you can ultimately sell his multi-level marketing scheme. It's the same, but at a higher level when we talk about Tesla stock and Elon Musk.
Think this guy would ever care about you?
This is a banger. Anyway, absolute banger of a video from friend of the show, Aubrey. Probably my favorite video that he's done in a while. Good shit. But yeah, people have, I feel like his time is coming. No matter how much goodwill and how much PR you have for years and years and years, for decades, no matter how much the systems that we exist under that people want to subscribe to, that people want to believe, ultimately, if you fail so publicly and so frequently, and people start losing money off of your other ventures as a consequence of you throwing the fucking bag and lighting it on fire in one of the most like oblivious and public displays, eventually people are going to start noticing it.